fam, this is Megan Boat, aka Childhood 미국 사람입니다. And okay, so someone in our family had passed away right before me and Moon got married. So the family was like, don't come to the funeral. And even though we hadn't gotten married yet, I was like, of course we have to go to the funeral. So I insisted that we go. So we went to the funeral. After we left, the family was throwing salt and like red pepper flakes at us. And I was like, what's happening? So I really realized that, especially the older generation in Korea is quite superstitious. And there are a lot of interesting superstitions and there are a lot of weird things that you'll see around Korea. So I thought I would take the time and explain some of these weird things that you might see. So the first weird thing that I kind of realized in Korea was that whenever you go into a business some of the time and you look at the front door, there's a dead, dried fish hanging on some threads at that front door. And I was like, why y'all got these dead fish at the front door? It just looks like the most inviting thing to get customers into your business, right? So this is called bugo. It looks so scary. Like when I first came, I'd be like, hello. So you guys know me, I'm very inquisitive. So I asked like, why y'all got that dead fish up there? And then they were like, well, this dried fish doesn't spoil for a long time. And I believe that's true because like it's dried and salted. So the idea is that as long as this doesn't spoil, like your business will like do well. And another thing about this fish is that it keeps its eyes open when it sleeps, which is food for nightmares. And so apparently, if it's at the door of your business at night when there's bad spirits, they'll be able to like see them. They keeping a lookout with their big dried eye. And the reason why you'll see it with these thick threads, oh, like the ones I got on my clothes. And so the reason why they do that is because they represent like a long time. So you often see them together just like this. All right, okay. So another thing that you'll see like when people start businesses is they'll have some sort of kind of ceremonial rites, which they call a 고사. So one thing that you'll see on the ceremonial table is you'll see something that has pot in it. And by pot, I mean red beans, because in Korean, pot is red bean. Don't get it twisted. And so the reason is because apparently bad spirits don't like red, so pot is believed to kind of keep bad spirits away. So that's also why there's a day of the year called 동지, which is when the night is the longest. And apparently when the night is the longest, there will be like more evil spirits roaming about. So on the longest night of the year, people will have something called patju, which is a porridge made out of pot, because if you eat the pot, then you're gonna keep the bad spirits away on the longest night ever when the bad spirits can be roaming around. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see people either having a bowl full of the red beans, or you'll see them having something called shiruta, which is like one of my favorite rice cakes ever. It's rice cake in the middle, and then around it, it's just like squished red beans. And it is literally my favorite rice cake ever. The best place that makes it, if you ever visit Korea, find a rice cake place called Bijin, and it just has the best shiruta because inside they actually put wandukong, which is like some kind of sweet peas, and it just sounds weird, but girl, tastes good. So the next thing you will see on a gosa table, especially for new businesses, is you'll see a bowl of rice and you'll see that they have some incense sticks in it, and then they light them and kind of let the scent waft around the room. I realize a part of a lot of the ceremonies they be having incense lit. I don't particularly know the meaning of the incense, so let's not go there, girl. I don't know everything. So if you're looking for some in Korean, they're called so원향, which means wish scent. Yeah. I was just checking with Moon Girl. So the next thing you'll see on a table of like a business is like a pig's head, but like a real pig's head, girl. And I was like, I'm not getting a real pig's head for this video. So we improvised. So the pig actually represents a lot of things, but to me the most interesting thing that it represents is a word that they use in Korean called 상팔자, which is somebody who doesn't work, but they live a nice life. I guess because if you think about farm animals, they said like cows and like oxen and stuff, like they pull like the plows in the field, and like the other animals have to work, but pigs just kind of like chill and rest around and like have babies and eat and like get fat until they get slaughtered to be eaten, of course. Anyway, so apparently it represents you like having a nice comfortable business and a nice comfortable life. And they also say that pigs' noses can smell money well. So it will help you like earn a lot more money. So usually what you will do is you'll have all of these things on the table with one of my favorite things. Makgeolli is Korean rice, alcohol, and it's so good, girl. Ooh. My favorite one is chestnut makgeolli, which is so good. They also have a sweet potato makgeolli, but the sweet potato tastes kind of like fake, so I ain't really down with that. So you have makgeolli on the table as well, and usually when you're doing the ceremony, then one person pours makgeolli into the cup of the other person, and the other person holds it with both hands, and then they both proceed to bow in front of all of the stuff, and then after you bow in front of the stuff, then you proceed to put money in all of the holes of the pig. Ow, 날카로워. Ah! Okay. So it goes in the mouth, the nose. I guess after that you could do the ears, and that means your business gonna do well, girl. So another time you'll see people doing these ceremonies is when they get a new car, or if they just got in a car accident and they want to refresh the good spirits of their car. So what you would do when you get a new car is you roll up in it looking dope, and then after that you're going to make the same table that you just saw, except for without the pig's head. What you're gonna do is you're gonna open all the car doors, the hood, and the trunk. You're gonna put everything down on that table. You're going to bow to it. After you bow to it, you're gonna take makgeolli and you're going to pour it over all of the wheels. And then what you can do is you can keep that dead fish in the trunk of your car for a while, and that's supposed to keep the good spirits a-coming. Although I'm not quite sure how many people actually do it, because I've never opened up someone's trunk and seen a fish, even if the car is relatively new. So another interesting thing, remember in the intro I mentioned to you that after we came from the funeral, the relatives like sprinkled salt and like red pepper powder on us. But I thought it was just because we were about to have a wedding soon, because in Korea, especially the older people believe, is that when you go to something like a funeral, there are evil spirits that could follow you out. So if the evil spirits follow you out, they could follow you at your wedding, and that could mean like bad luck for your wedding and stuff, right? So especially if you have to go to a wedding, or if you're about to get married, or if someone is pregnant, and even if you're the husband of a pregnant person, you're not supposed to go to a funeral, because those evil spirits could follow you into something that's supposed to happen that's good. So at first when they did it, I thought they just did it because we were about to have a wedding, and so they didn't want the evil spirits to follow us there. But then actually Moon and they told me that a lot of people just do it in general, like the older people who are superstitious, because even if you don't have anything coming up like a wedding or a new baby coming, then they could just spill over into your life in general. So I saw people with like salt inside of like cling wrap, where they just kind of tied it up like a little candy, and then they just sprinkle it on themselves. And also you sprinkle it on your car when you're leaving, just so no evil spirits can like attach and like come with you wherever you're going. So another thing is, actually I know a lot of people still follow this because moving companies charge more on these days, is something called 손 없는 날, and that means there are no bad like evil spirits on that day. So actually moving companies, when you sign up for them to come move in your house, girl, they'll have like 손 없는 날, and those days will be like extra cost, because apparently those are the best days to move, where there are no evil spirits, so you're more likely to have success or live a good life in your new house. And they charge a lot on those days. So because I don't really believe in those things, I go around the 손 없는 날, so that way I can have like the cheapest day to like move. And also, if you're gonna get married, you should also choose a 손 없는 날, a day where there are no evil spirits. And a funny thing I never told you guys, when me and Moon got married, my parents-in-law are a little bit superstitious, so they actually had us go to visit this really like famous fortune teller. And so he like told us about ourselves and stuff, and then he gave us dates to like get married on, and we actually chose one of those dates to get married on because it would be the best lucky day for us to get married, I guess. So yeah, that was interesting. So he gave us a nice like envelope with the 결혼. Jeez, I can't talk to Moon and talk to you at the same time. It's not happening.
Sorry.
결혼 날짜, the wedding date. The wedding date we chose based on that fortune teller. And it was kind of an interesting experience for me. I'm kind of one of those people who I like to experience everything, and I don't look at people and be like, why do you believe that? I'm just like, it doesn't hurt anybody, it doesn't matter. So, wow, that was a lot of stuff that I talked about today, but these are things that I've just kind of picked up and like noticed over the years. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it, and I hope that you guys are being safe, washing your hands, okay, disinfecting your phones and everything, okay. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. I really appreciate it. And I do have some news for you guys. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be going to America. We got our plane tickets to go to America in May for my sister's sister's graduation, but we don't even know if the graduation is happening. And also, if we were to leave Korea and come back, we'd probably have to do quarantine for like 2 additional weeks. So I think we just cancel our trip to America in May. Sorry about that. I was gonna have a meetup to meet some of you guys, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be able to happen now. So I'll keep you posted on if we either get a refund or if we're just gonna do the trip later on this year. Alright, so if you like this and like to see more videos, please subscribe to my YouTube page, which is down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, not on Snapchat, because I don't use that no more. Like me on Facebook, and I will see ya.